Hey everyone, this is Joel.
And Noah from the Wealth is Health podcast.
This podcast is a conversation of our journey to financial health.
We think working till 65 just ain't it, and just like you, we're trying to make sure that never happens.
And if you're interested in letting us know what you're trying to do to achieve financial health and want to join us in our journeys, join the discussion on our Facebook at the Wealth is Health podcast.
Let's tap in.
All right, what's going on everyone? Welcome to the Wealth is Health podcast. If I look tired, it's because we're actually filming this early in the morning because I don't have time to film during our regular time. So, I mean, Noah looks
really
like he's
not even
fine.
that early.
No, bro.
I look like
wait.
I look like
early.
what?
You look normal. Like you look like you were ready for this. I feel like I was.
Bro,
not ready
I was
for
up
this.
at 6:30. For y'all that don't know, it's
Yeah,
only
that's
like
pretty
8:12 a.m. right now.
Hey. When do you say all that?
You said early. I'm like, God.
I mean, I
bro,
usually wake
it's
up
not
at
that
6
early.
too. I usually wake up at 6 too, but I was like last night. I was making food, cooking chicken, and it just like
Jerk?
took mad long. No, just like regular tenderloins.
Regular.
Regular
Tenderloins, bro.
tenderloins, right? Yeah, meal prepping. So I had mad food I was cooking and took mad long to cook. And now I play video games, so you know we don't have to talk about that part though.
Oh my God.
Probably went to sleep at like 2, so.
Not
I'm
being
here.
productive whatsoever.
Hey, chill.
I'm playing.
Here. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the positives and negatives of reaching your financial goal, or kind of the motivation behind reaching your financial goal and why. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's kind of destructive towards, I guess, the person you are or the person you want to be.
The people
or, I don't
around
know.
you.
The people around you.
Everyone in your life.
Yourself, yeah, basically. But before, obviously, we're going to get into our updates. I'll start it off today. So, I have not been to these Wednesday meetings with the regular mastermind group in probably the last 3 weeks because this work that I'm doing is so demanding. I'm working orientation, which is like when you go and help out with people, new students moving in. And then I'm also working an internship at this company I'm not going to name for there's no reason to name it. So I'm working internship and I'm working orientation.
Bro, I can't believe that you were talking about, oh, you don't want to name your job on the first
I
episode.
know.
You don't want to call your employer out right now?
Nah, because if I ever want to say anything bad in the future, I can now.
Yeah.
Because you already left your job. That's why I was like, all right,
No,
well,
the
who
other
cares?
job, the one I'm at right now.
Oh, okay.
I thought I named
Okay,
the
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
name
you
the
did,
one
you
that I was
did.
at right
But
now.
you didn't name it the first time. Like, I think I bleeped it out the first time. You're like, all right, now I'll name drop them in, like, a future episode. And I was like, all right. But, yeah, so I'm working this internship, but I'm doing this at the same time. I have to work 27 hours for the internship every week at maximum. And then I have to work every day for orientation. So I'll literally just be pulling up, like, during orientation, like, while some meeting's going on, watching some video for the job I'm at. It's just a lot. And I need a fade right now. Like it's not looking good right now. I'm struggling all around. But I do have the weekend.
I need a
to do
retwist.
everything.
Where's your mom at, yo? Where's your mom at?
She's back. She's back.
She's back?
Yeah. You can
right.
hit her up probably today if you wanted to
Really?
get. Yeah, I mean she's.
Well, no,
yeah.
I won't do it today because I'll want to wash my hair. I already took a shower and everything.
Okay.
So I'll say
But yeah, she's.
maybe during the week or on the weekend, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, even probably during the week. Yeah, but
Ooh.
yeah. So I'm annoyed about that because that stuff is the type of stuff that keeps me driven. I was talking to Noah about it yesterday. Sometimes I do appreciate the people I hang around with, but they're not like-minded like me to a lot of the time. So
You're
it's
saying
like-
they ain't gang.
Exactly, yeah. So I use the example, like we got our paychecks last week and we went out to it's like they're just like, oh yo, we're getting our paychecks, we already made the reservation to this place to eat. I'm like, yo, chill. I don't even want to eat at this trash restaurant right now and waste my money. And I just went along and I was literally like, I'm not getting food. Ended up getting food. I got like a $13 meal, and bro, let me know how I walked out there with $28 gone. So I'm just confused on where it goes. I'm like, what?
Lee, bro.
I'm like, yo,
nah, that'd be
come on.
happening though. That'd be
I know
happening.
my-
When you be
but
like,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying,
no,
like-
we'll just split it. We'll just all split it
That's
evenly.
what
but
people
my
say,
man's got
like,
like
what?
5 appetizers, 3 drinks, like.
I'm like, yo, chill.
Yeah. But you don't want to be the broke one that's like, nah, I think I only want to pay what I
No,
like.
I don't even
You know
care.
what I mean?
Even, they were even saying, they're like, if you don't eat the food, you're going to invest the money? And I was like, yeah, that's why your bank account's empty right now. But you're spending the money you just got on. Nah, I'm messing. I don't know if their bank accounts are empty. I hope they're full. But, Yeah, and then car problems too is kind of weird. I have an oil leak in my car now, which is not good. So I got to get that fixed. But honestly, if I could just scrap that car or buy another car, I'd get a Prius and I'd be whipping that down over the city because that 50.
You don't want to get a Benz?
Nice. No, I'm all set with a Prius, and I don't think the Benz would be.
Wait, why would you
get
a Prius?
My financial, because the mile per gallon. Mileage is the only thing I care about.
Why?
Because I DoorDash and I Grubhub, and because of that, you got to maximize the mileage on your vehicle. At least in my opinion, I think that makes more sense.
So basically, you're saying it causes like a bigger gap between like how much revenue you're bringing in and what your expenses are.
Yes, exactly. It creates a larger gap between that, which is exactly what I want to do. And hopefully, maintenance does not increase that gap. But apparently, these cars can last up to like 200,000 miles. But I don't know if I really want to risk that by getting a car of like 170,000 miles already. Anyways, though, moving past from that update, I filed for my LLC in Rhode Island. If you want, you can look it up. It's local host RI. It doesn't matter if you can look it up because it's a public company. And now I have to
publicly traded company.
No, imagine. Yeah,
dang, bro. I was gonna say, let me get some shares.
No, so I have I got to set up my EIN and my business bank account, and then I'm supposed to be looking at some properties in July, which is good. And then I'm building up money right now to help me with those expenses when I first come up. So I'm trying to get up to $10,000 by the end of this month, which I will. I will make that.
Where are you at right now?
So about $8,000, and I have 2 more weeks of both the internship, which I get paid weekly, and orientation, which I get paid bi-weekly. So I'll easily be able to make it by the end. And then after I get the EIN number and get my business bank account, I'll transfer the money I have currently into that bank account so it can chill there. And yeah, that's all I can think of. And I didn't tell you, but the podcast last week was probably the most frustrating thing to edit because your audio from this was like your audio was longer than the audio from your video. And I was like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, how is that possible?
So I had to like condense it by speeding it up a little bit, and it like matched up perfectly.
Dang, it's gonna be like back in the day when they had like the Alvin and the Chipmunks version of like songs.
No, your voice is.
Oh my god.
It's probably like 0.003% faster. Like it's not even that much faster. But I had to do it. So yeah, I'm nice at editing. So just know. All right, I'm gonna pass it on to Noah. Let's hear about your week. Not closing on your property.
Wow,
I'm sorry. I feel like that was a low blow.
Low blow. But yeah, so nah, it's cool. Another week of not closing. You know what I mean? What else is new? But my realtor texted me on Friday and was like, "Yo, he said, I think that we're gonna be able to get like the smoke certification that we've been waiting on, like issued within the hour," he said. Wow. But it was like interesting because he said within the hour, but he texted me at like 12:57. So I'm like, so in the next 3 minutes, you think you're gonna have it? That would be amazing. But and then he sent me like another extension like on the contract for the house until Tuesday, and he's like, oh, I think, right? He said, I think Tuesday's gonna be the day. But hold your applause because I have not received like not one notice of like confirmation or anything. So yeah, I don't actually know when I'm closing still. But if like I'm assuming that if the smoke certification was actually issued to them, then I should be closing at some point during this week. But I don't know. So I'm not gonna hold my breath, as they say, or whatever. But other than that, we went to a networking event on Wednesday instead of having like our normal mastermind meeting. And it was like specifically real estate focused at some like brewery in Pawtucket. So that was dope. We got a couple more contacts, and then Joel had like some of his people come through. So we added one of them to the group chat. I don't know what happened to your folks.
They didn't tell me that they finished that thing, so I was like, yeah, I'm not adding them. until they do.
Dang.
Also, I kind of want to low key just like wait until next meeting and see if they want to pull up. But they did take initiative. Like you didn't see, but behind the scenes they were like, "Oh, I can't make it today. My car like doesn't work." And the other guy was like, "All right, what's your address? I'll pick you up right now." And I was like, "Dang, okay." They're pretty dedicated because it was getting pretty close to the time, and the dude was like, "All right, I'll pick you up from work," basically.
And they confirmed with me when we were at the networking event, like, so you guys meet on Wednesdays, you said, at 7:30?
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like they're going to pull up, which would be dope. For
Facts,
sure.
but talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, so I'm going to see real quick.
All right, bro. You're being like...
I don't like adding people.
Extra
like
negative.
I know, because I don't like adding people. I don't like adding people if like, now that I have the power, I can control it. And I don't like adding people if they haven't, like, really done anything.
That's
Or
true.
if they want
But,
to.
I mean, I have
You think?
hope,
Okay.
at least. I have hope, that they'll come through. Because they seem hella cool, so...
All right, my
Yeah,
fault.
I mean-
Yeah. What those noises are too? You know what? I'm pretty sure you can use them too. But it's like this. Do you see on the top right where it says studio and then it says media?
I'm just a guest, bro. I don't have all that.
Dang.
It just says studio and then chat, bro. I'm a
That's
guest in
so
this house.
sad.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different noises you can make, and you can. I was thinking about we can make like custom.
Can you pause that though? Like, hey yo.
What?
all these noises we can make, yeah.
Bro, that's such a stretch,
Yo,
bro.
I didn't like that.
Like, what is that?
All
right
right, bro.
there? Alright.
But
Back to the
anyway,
topic. Yeah.
so what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean it was cool. We basically just met more people like within like the real estate investing community here. I met like more people. I actually met someone younger than me. He's like 23 or something like that, I think, or 24. But yeah, he's doing like a lot of flips right now. He's also a wholesaler and a realtor.
In Rhode Island?
I think he stays between like Connecticut and Mass mainly, but he also like comes through to Rhode Island. But yeah, and he owns like a couple rental properties too, but he primarily focuses on flips, and he has like a lot of hard money lender connects and stuff like that. So I have him on Instagram now, and he said that we could reach out like whenever, like if we ever need anything. So yeah, we met quite a few people, and your people were out there networking a lot. So
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it a lot. They are good at taking advantage of stuff, but again, like I don't really know the temp of them. I haven't done my own temp checks yet, so sometimes I feel like people just get like hyped up with the investing, like this is lit. I don't know about them yet, so we'll see.
word. But yeah, I was also gonna say, that. Because I think you had asked me before, like on a previous episode or whatever, probably the first episode, about like how my parents were reacting to like me house hacking and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, like they were more so against it. Like, nah, bro, like that's not it. That's not what you should be focusing on right now. But they actually came around. which is
Really?
dope. Yeah. So, they've been saying like they're proud and all that, which is cool. I finally got like
that's nice.
some
Some
acceptance
validation.
a little bit.
They're just happy to leave it, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Said it. Man's out the house.
But yeah, I was actually talking to someone about it, and I was like, "Yo, so do you think that like now that I'm like receiving acceptance that like I can stop feeling like I'm worthless all the time?"
Dang, bro.
Yeah, I was asking, but I was actually being sarcastic because I'm like, no,
Yeah, I was
never gonna
say.
stop feeling like that.
Damn, that kind of leads us into the conversation of what pushes you to succeed.
I feel like when you say it like that makes it sound extra forced.
What? Nah, because I mean, is that not kind of like a push? Like, we don't think you're gonna make it in this field, and just recently, I think I found another push to succeed too, but I'm not gonna talk about that yet. But yeah, I feel like that perfectly like transitions into like, dang, now that you receive validation. I mean,
No, but that's
guess
why I
if you-
said I wanted to
sarcastic.
talk about this topic because I was like part of my update was essentially gonna lead into that. But yeah, it's like interesting when you think about it because essentially like after I make this acquisition of the property, I'm gonna actually be at a little over $500,000 in assets. at 25. But I'm still always gonna feel like I'm big trash all the time, and there's always
Okay.
like more to do. I'm not like I haven't done enough.
Yeah.
Always like I don't think I'm ever gonna not feel like that. To be
That
honest.
probably is unhealthy, low key, but yeah. Like that just sounds like some like I don't know. It just sounds like it can't be right.
Well, I will
happy,
say,
man.
chill, bro. Actually, that's something I want to talk about too because I feel like people, even I'm gonna say names now because he was on the podcast, but like
Okay.
Jason had a thing before. I don't know if he changed his mind now, but he had a thing before where he would like he honestly believes that like when you have like a certain amount of money that like it's impossible not to be happy. And I'm like, I personally don't think that money like makes you happy in the sense that I feel like you even just know, well, you don't know, but you hear about like people that are really successful or whatever and they have like big money and they're still like hella depressed or whatever.
Wait, is what he's saying that like you can't be unhappy or yeah? I don't
So he
understand
would
that.
say
That
it
don't
like
make sense
this.
to me, to
He'd
be
be
honest.
like, "Bro, think about it. Do you know anyone that's rich and depressed?" I'm like, "I don't know anyone that's rich, bro."
Yeah, so that's a problem.
Like I don't,
already.
because he would say specifically like, "Do you know anyone personally?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I don't know anyone personally that's even rich. So how am I supposed to like answer that question for you?" But I've heard it a lot of times through like interviews and things like that.
Bro, isn't his whole purpose of being financially free to fund his depressive lifestyle? So he would still be depressed and be rich at the same time. Like I'm
That's
just
just
like
how
right.
it- You know what I mean? Like,
He said, "I know you, yo." What do you
Whatever.
mean? I know you. All
he's
right.
not well.
Not
He's
yet.
not
But I'm
financially
saying.
independent yet, but yeah.
All right. So I guess he can't know.
I think, in my opinion, I think that there's even like a study done or whatever that, even when it comes to like income, like Graham Stephan had made a video about it where it's like once you get past like a certain dollar amount, you don't like necessarily get happier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the way that I feel is like if you weren't able to like find or experience happiness before the money, then you're probably not gonna be like a lot happier after the money. Like I feel like there's a certain like threshold or whatever. Like once certain needs have already been met, when you're just adding more money on top of that, I don't think it really changes you like emotionally because even what Graham and Andre were saying to what's the old boy's name, like Pro the Doge or whatever,
Pro
the
the Doge,
Dogecoin
yeah.
millionaire, and they're like, bro, the difference in your lifestyle between 2 million and 4 million is really not that different. So you might as well just cash out at 2 million because you're not gonna be happier and you're not gonna live like a lot better of a lifestyle between those $2 amounts. It's already done. So if you're not like already happy with this and acceptable with this, there's just nothing really for me to say to you.
And what's even crazier about that is that he probably wouldn't be happy regardless because this man's so risky with his money that I'm sure he'd hop into some other venture, to be honest. Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's
that he did
highly
what he
likely.
did. But yeah, I mean, I just looked at the stats right now. He's technically still a millionaire. 31 cents, so he's got 4 million. So I guess he's still a millionaire.
He does not have 4 million right now.
4 million coins.
Oh, 4 million coins. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, kind of what we're talking about is like why the motivation or the strive for financial independence can be positive and negative at the same time. And I think there's like a lot more. I think when you think about negatives, it's more like your personality trait and like how you are perceived by other people can be viewed as like negative. But the way, I guess, like the way you think about yourself can be viewed as negative. But for the most part, I feel like the way you view yourself being negative is a motivating factor for you to do what you have to do. Because if someone comes up to me right now and tells me like, "Yo, I think what you're doing is pretty cool, but you're probably not gonna make it, so you should probably start looking for a real job," I would literally be like, wow,
Bro.
because you feel like not only are you being viewed as like other people view you as like, all right, this man's kind of a joker. Now you really have to put faith in yourself to prove that person wrong. And like you were saying though before, people, that's like a big motivating factor for a lot of people because I don't know if it's just spite or just wanting to just prove someone wrong. Pettiness is a great motivator for success. But the whole time, it's like you're kind of deteriorating yourself if you're forcing yourself to do these things to get to your goal. I don't know,
me
but
say
at the end of
this.
the day, I think it's worth it. Yeah.
So
I don't
let
know,
me
but
say
at the end
this.
of the day, I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Let me say this too. So I had recently read Your Next Five Moves by like Patrick Bet-David. I think his name
Oh
is.
yeah, Patrick Bet-David. Yeah.
Yeah, so a quote from the book, and he was actually quoting someone else in this part of the book, but basically the person was like, oh, like most successful entrepreneurs, like, well, he didn't say that. I mean, she didn't say that. She said like, basically like every successful entrepreneur has like some sort of like chip on their shoulder, and he's like, maybe not all of them had like a really traumatic childhood, but every single one of them, like basically at some point in time, someone told them that they can't do something, and they're still pissed about it right now, still wanting to like prove someone wrong or whatever. And it's like weird when I think about it because, like for myself, because I don't think about it as like I want to prove someone or I like to prove people wrong. And I feel like some people just think that I have that attitude. Like some girl was saying to me before, like, I feel like you just take everything I say as a challenge. And I'm like, I'm not taking what you say as as a challenge just in general. Like I'm saying it because you specifically challenged me. Like like cuz I won't do it just in general. You know what I mean? Like if you're just like, "Oh, you can't do that." Like unless I said I wanted to do it, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, I can't do it, whatever. But if I'm sitting here, like, cause I don't really like to like open up to people anyways and tell them like what I have going on or like what my vision or my plan is. But if I'm telling you, like, if I'm going out of my way to open up about like what I want to do with my life, which is something I don't like do very often, and you're just like dismissing it, like, nah, bro, like that's unrealistic. Like, there's no way you're gonna be able to do that. Yeah, you just pissed me off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm going to make sure that I do it and I let you know and I come with receipts every time telling, like, showing you why you should never doubt me ever again in your life. Like, watch your mouth.
Yeah. It has
But,
so that actually has happened to you then.
multiple times, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing that makes me the most mad about it is, like,
When they
once
come back
I,
later?
like, what happened?
When they come back after you're successful, you're like, wow, good job.
Basically, you know what I mean? Like, as, like, while I'm already doing it or whatever, because to be honest, most of the time I don't even really want to like tell them or give them like progress updates or whatever. But if they just happen to know, it's like while I'm going along that journey, they end up just changing their mind and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I'm so proud of you. I always knew that you could do it." And I'm like, "Are you serious, bro?" Because this entire time, I wanted to come with receipts and like really come at your neck for doubting me. Because I'm like, bro, like, what if I had listened to you? That's why it makes me mad. I'm like, what if I had listened to you, bro? Like, I would not be where I'm at right now. So the fact that you doubted me and you could have stopped me from, like, getting to this point, I'm heated right now. Like, I'm so mad at you. So when you, like flip your position and you're just like, oh, no, like, I always knew you could do it. So now it's like, you would look at me crazy if I was coming at your neck after you already, like, congratulated me.
You'd be like, oh, whoa, calm down. What's going on?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know how I feel about that being a motivator or like saying, because I feel like people say it in the way that like they think that I like that, like I like the challenge, and maybe I do, like maybe it's just the way that I perceive like my emotions that's like weird, but I personally like I feel like I don't like it because it makes me mad, you know what I mean? Like I'm actually mad, like this is not a game to me, bro.
Yeah.
So that's why I personally don't like it, and the fact that like you're causing me to feel this anger again, or well, let me not put it on them, but it's like now I'm experiencing this anger. I don't like that feeling, but I will admit that it does like definitely drive me to like want to double down on my position.
Yeah, it's kind of tough though. I feel like too, because I feel like I like when I'm talking to people, and I don't know, I don't get motivated like too much. The one time I was motivated that I can remember was when I got my camera. I wanted to start photography, but I spent the only $400 I had from that summer because I worked part time at this shoe place. I spent that on like this like used Nikon camera, and my mom was like, "You're never gonna make any money with that. Like I don't know why you buy that." And I was like, "Dang, really?"
I remember you telling the story
Alright.
before, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I made money, and I made a lot of money even during graduation week this week, and I made money before. And I remember telling her, I was like, "Look, I made all this money." She's like, "Yeah, I know. I never really doubted you. I just did." I was like, "What?" It's the same thing. I was like, But
Yeah.
you specifically told me that I would not make money, so I need an apology right now. I mean, she really did apologize. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "All right." But like again, like what if I just was like,
Yeah,
this
you're
actually
right,
isn't
Mom.
gonna work. Yeah,
I'm just
like,
gonna throw in
I'm
the towel.
sorry. Yeah, exactly. I'll use this money to like for a down payment on some car or like on some liability.
Yo,
like
chill.
there's nothing really better. I feel like I could even have used that money for, especially at that age. So it really is crazy. What if I did listen to you, and my life went a
Yeah.
different way?
That I feel like just in general, that's like one of my biggest like uh things that causes me to like anger and frustration. It's always like, what if I had listened to you?
Yeah.
But I think the reason that it makes me so mad is because of how often it comes up, and the reason that it comes up so often is because I'm constantly educating myself, like always. So it's like when I go back to regular life and talk to regular people, it's like because they haven't been doing that, they disagree with me about like every single thing, which is why I don't like talking to people in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm like,
yeah.
bro, I need you to read like this whole like
This
basic
book
like
first.
foundational like
Yeah.
these books before you even speak to me. Like
You said,
please,
take
because
Rich
you're
Dad,
gonna
Poor
make
Dad.
me so mad. Because you're gonna question every single thing that I'm doing. But going back specifically to like the chip on your shoulder thing, like the reason that I'll say it can be kind of like unhealthy, like for me personally, even though it still does like drive me. Like at one point, you know, I mean, I don't know how I want to say this because this is gonna be in cyberspace.
Okay. All right.
But
yeah. Think about it.
yeah. So I mean, we could edit it worst case scenario, but basically, I would partake in a substance.
Okay.
I'll say that, right? On like Friday nights and Saturday nights only, and like for most people, it just makes them like chill out and like relax and like that's cool or whatever. But for me, for whatever reason, like I think like my mind just works like really differently than most people, so like nothing like ever just affects me the way it's not like normally supposed to.
Yeah.
But
That makes sense.
yeah, so it's like when I was taking it, essentially like the entire time period, all I would do is just like basically just hate on myself. Like the
Dang.
entire time.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
pretty
I'm just looking
terrible.
at my life and like the decisions that I've made and all this stuff, like from all these different perspectives of just seeing like how trash I am, like
Wow, that sounds,
how I did
that
not
sounds
do this.
terrible. All right.
Yeah, like how I'm not moving how I'm supposed to move and all that stuff. Like dang, like I could have just done that so much better or whatever. But it was always like in a really like aggressively like angry way. So I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like the first couple times, bro, I was actually getting like emotional about
Yeah.
it. Like I was like literally just in my bed like crying, bro. Like wow, I honestly hate myself.
Jesus Christ.
I'm
All
horrible.
right.
But
That sounds sad.
yeah, I guess. But at the same time, I will say that it did help me out a lot because I was able to view myself from those perspectives and see like how like I really could have done better, and because I'm not like the most emotional person in general, like it's not really the biggest deal in the world. And I was thinking more so like, all right, cool. So like, how can I make sure that like I don't make these kind of mistakes going forward, or how do I make sure that like I improve upon like just the stuff I did in the past, because I don't like to hold myself to this to the standards of mortals. Now I'm playing to the standards of like
That's facts.
the standards of
Real.
regular people, because like even dealing with my therapist recently, because she was like congratulating me for like being in this position and like getting a house at 25 and all that, and she was like, wow, like that's so amazing, like you're doing it at such a young age, and it's not even like you had to like ask your parents like, yo, can I borrow like $10,000 for the down payment or whatever.
Cosign. Yeah.
Yeah, or get like a cosign or whatever. And she's like, that's amazing, and it's not even like it's just a single family, it's a multi-family, like that's so different.
She said, "How'd you learn about this?"
Yeah, and I was like I mean I'll accept it from her because like I just have a certain relationship with her, so like it's fine.
Yeah.
And I understood like the sentiment that she was trying to give, but to me, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really see it.
You think you could have done it at 23? That's what you're thinking.
Yes, I'm like, I'm like, bro, like I'm late to the game. Like this is nothing new. Like
Yeah.
I don't hold myself to the standard of, oh well, you know, most other people, most other 25-year-olds or whatever,
Yeah.
because that's something that
Yeah.
she's kind of, she's
Yeah.
kind of said that a lot throughout the years, and I'm like, I don't care
I'm
about
not. I'm
these
not
other-
like most other. Yeah, bro.
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm
like all these
saying.
regulars, bro.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's like a certain level of like arrogance or cockiness or whatever, but I'm just like, bro, I don't care about what they're doing. Like I'm not just trying to like to be average or like keep up with them.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean,
it's
it's kinda
arrogance or
like-
cockiness, dude. I think it's you wanting to succeed. Like you set a bar for yourself, so you're gonna be as hard as you can be to yourself to reach that bar. That's why I also don't like when people say you're being too hard on yourself. I'm like, what are you talking about? Being too hard? You're not being hard enough on yourself. You're
Yeah,
not
like
doing
I think
anything for
that I'm
yourself.
worth more. I think that I could do more. Like
Yeah,
that's
so I'm gonna
that's
push
how I'm doing
myself.
it. But I feel like
Yeah.
it can be considered cockiness and arrogance because to other people it's like it can be offensive. Like if
To
they're around
regulars.
the same age.
To regulars, it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
But all right.
You said to the mortals.
Yeah, to the mortals.
But yeah, because for them, like, even that same chick that I was talking about that said the thing about like, oh, you take everything I say as a challenge or whatever. Like
Yeah.
she had said something before like, oh, well, like that's impressive to be able to qualify for even like that type of loan amount like by yourself at your age or whatever. But I don't know. It's just something about that like.
Yeah, like it's not that impressive though.
Yeah, I'm like, bro,
if
like
you
your
really knew-
standards are like.
Yeah.
Like,
if
do you
really
know
knew-
like what I'm actually capable of? Like, do you think that I'm actually like fulfilling my potential right now? Because I
Oh,
feel like
that's the
there's just so
thing.
much more that I could do and I'm not doing right now. So that's why I'm saying like it could be cockiness or arrogance because for them it's like they're thinking about it as like oh like it's impressive to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
especially
yeah.
if they didn't do it at
They don't
whatever
have any
age or whatever.
research. Yeah, or understand
Yeah,
what
like they're like,
yeah.
oh, that's incredible. But I feel like it's probably even gonna get worse now that we're doing like all this networking and stuff like that because we're seeing people that I mean probably none of them are really younger than you, but I'm seeing people like around my age and some people even a little bit younger that are like so ahead of me. You know what I mean?
But
Like
there's
the kid
always
I was
gonna
just talking
be
about.
someone ahead of you though. Like there will always be someone ahead of you. You gotta like I think like that. Like right now at 22, I'm also like beating myself up that I don't have a business and I'm not like really starting. I can't start because of the job I'm working. It's like I'm like yeah, I really am not doing anything. That's how I feel too. I feel like
Yeah,
you're
I don't-
always gonna feel like that a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
feel
I
like
don't
you always
care.
kind of have to too.
I don't care in the sense that like it makes me sad that someone's ahead of me. I think of it as like I don't think that you're
Like
better
you-
than me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I feel like I should be able to
in front
keep
of
up
you.
with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or at least like
Okay,
like
yeah.
at where you're at. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's more so
why
I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm not like, oh my gosh, like I just can't hang. Like no, I'm like I know that
Yeah.
I can hang, and the fact that I'm not hanging right now, that's
It's
what's pissing
annoying,
me
yeah.
off. Yeah.
And that's what people can say, like, you're being too hard on yourself. Look what you have right now. But you're like, it's just not the same. Like, this is why I can't have conversation with people who don't do this. Because it's just not the same. Like, they know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like for you, you still have, like, the advantage of having, like, so much capital built up that you can use to start your business. So you're probably going to have, like, an easier time now starting your business than someone like me because you have so much reserves, like, chilling, ready for you to use. And you don't have to use it. You can use the loans too. Like you were saying, you can use the loans like that are based off of the amount you have invested. And that's like that is a huge advantage. Like even though like you're just acquiring the first house hack at 25, you have so much money saved up that you can just it's not like you have nothing to show for it basically. Like you do have like all the money from all these years saved up. And at the end of the day, you really are 25. Like you do have like at least 5 more years of like life left in you before you have to retire.
Oh, what? 5
I
more
knew that was
years
gonna
of
sound
life
weird.
left.
Yeah. Of life
But
left,
I'm thinking
yeah.
right now, I'm like, yeah, we probably have people listening that are like around my age or potentially even a little bit older,
Have nothing.
or even like slightly younger that are gonna. I feel like they might feel a way even hearing this.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Cause what? Cause we're just making it seem as if like we're not in a good position, even though you're literally closing on a house hack. Is that why?
Yeah, and they might start like comparing themselves in like a negative way.
But you know what though?
Like
That
dang,
little bit
like
of
no, you know
negativity-
what? I'll say it like this. This is the better way to phrase it. Like because they'll see how I'm looking at like myself, and then they might think that I'm looking at them that same way.
Well, I
You
mean,
see what I'm saying?
you
No,
could be.
chill. I'm not. I'm like I'm personally
anyone listening
not.
to
I'm
the
caring-
podcast,
Yeah.
anyone listening to the podcast, I know wants to strive for some type of like a better goal for themselves. So yeah, I can see why you wouldn't look at them like that because you know they're putting in the effort to try.
Yeah, and I'm only comparing myself to like the standards that I have set like for me. You know what I mean? And it is
Yeah.
like somewhat relative to like
Yeah, that's
what other
true.
people are doing, but I'm not gonna look
Yeah.
at someone that I see is actually striving towards something and be like, oh well, no, they're just trash. Like if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
actually putting
yeah.
in the work or whatever, then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Salute.
nah, yeah. From that, yeah,
Always.
from that perspective,
Always.
true. Because I don't think I personally don't have like an expectation for you to do something at 25. I'm just kind of watching what you're doing and being like, yeah, okay, this is cool.
Yeah,
I
that
wanna,
like that's how I think about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching like
Yeah.
what you're doing and what everyone else in our mastermind is doing. Like, oh, like that's cool or whatever. But it's
No,
like
maybe
I
I
just
can
have
try that.
a certain bar for myself specifically that I
Yeah.
want to hit.
And well, all right, now I kind of want to like talk about like the positives end with that though, because I still feel like there is like a lot of positives, even like viewing yourself.
Wait, can I get
negatively
to
like
can I
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
the
so-
neutral before
Oh
we
yeah,
get to
okay,
the
okay,
positive?
neutral, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean I guess you can actually take it positively. So never mind. You can go first and then because I have 2 book recommendations. That I'm
Alright,
gonna
so
be
yeah.
drawing from.
So the positive. So I'll talk about my, I guess, experience then in orientation. So I've been doing this for a while, and like I said, the people around me aren't really exactly the way I feel like I want to be. So sometimes it's hard to even have like the conversations I have, or it's like specifically like monetarily that I'm like, all right, I really don't mess with you in this like aspect because they're willing to spend money on like everything, and I'm more of a person where I'm like, if I paid $30 for my dinner, I paid $30 for my dinner. I'm not paying for anyone. But that's just, I guess, the environment that I chose to be in because I don't have to go to these events. But,
Wait, is that how you feel when you take women out?
no, a little slightly, but no. Just no, yeah, we're splitting that check. I'm sorry.
Wait, you're splitting checks?
I think I'm splitting. Yes, bro. I honestly am kind of like annoyed when people like yesterday. I went to.
This is
I
gonna
went
be
to
our
church
first dislike on a video.
Yo, I went to church yesterday, and my mom brought some food. Like she brought some Jamaican dumplings. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's like a fried dumpling. And I was eating that, John. And this lady came up from my church. She came up to me. She's like, "Yo, like, can I try some of that?" I was like, "What?" And like she came up with there were 2 ladies, so I gave her a little piece, and the other lady's like, "Yo, give her a whole one. Like, come on, she's a lady." And I was like, "All right, bro. I'm sorry. Like, this is my whole food that I got. I don't understand. I don't owe you anything." Respectfully, but I'm gonna eat this myself.
Wait,
and
was
I
it
just
an
ate
older
myself.
lady that said like, "Oh, she's a lady"?
Yes,
shit
bro.
was?
And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I have no ties to you or your family."
You should have said,
bro."
"I'll see you on the court." I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I'll see you in court, bro. Nah, but no. So that, but yeah. Regardless, yeah, I'm not gonna be. If we're on the first date, unless I really like you, I'm probably not gonna be splitting. I'm probably gonna be splitting a check because
I don't
paid
know if
30
you're gonna
bills.
get a
Yeah, that's
second
30
date, bro.
bills. I guess I could.
I feel like we should cut this out and put this in a whole other podcast and have a discussion about that.
I mean,
to be
relationships are a huge thing, and
Like relationships on the way to financial health.
Yes, well,
We
I
need
mean,
to have a conversation about
bro,
that.
even relationships like when you first realize that you want to be financially free, and you're like, my my partner is like, not with it, and then you're like, dang, because I kind of.
I always say it to you because I feel like there's certain transitions. I feel like
Yeah.
we're going away from topic, so this is the last thing I'll say about this.
We are.
Yeah,
but
this is the last thing I'll say
continue.
about this, but it's more so like I feel like the type of relationship that you probably need to be in at the beginning of your journey versus like the middle and the end, like might be different. Like you just have different standards for them. But that's just my opinion. But we'll talk about that in a full episode one day.
That's a whole thing. Yeah. So back to the topic though.
I actually forgot
Yes.
it. Just-
No, it was because I don't like to spend. I'm kind of like. I'm around
Cheap?
people right now that. Nah, not
Stingy?
cheap. Nah, not stingy. But I'm
Broke?
definitely around people. I'm definitely around people. Throwing around a lot of words. I'm definitely around a lot of people right now I can't resonate with. But it actually makes me want to do what I'm doing even more strongly, like more heavily. because I'm
You
like,
just want to
I never,
isolate yourself from society even more, is what you're saying.
basically, so I can reach my goal to an extent. Yeah, basically, because I can't hang around with these regulars.
So you
bro,
want
I'm
to,
sorry.
so you want to gain the
No.
world and lose your soul.
Whoa! I didn't say all of that. I'm trying to literally
I'm just
gain
asking,
my
bro.
soul
I'm just asking
and
a
lose
question.
the world. I'm trying to gain my soul and lose the world, man.
Nah, that's real. That's
And
actually real.
if you think about it too, like, I don't know. I don't really have a choice but to hang with these people. So the times I get outside of it, I feel like I really am trying to like get on my path. Because from what I'm seeing, like these people already have their mindset on working that 9 to. This lady literally told me today. Like this, not lady. I guess she's a girl, but I don't know. There's one of the students working was like, yeah, I don't ever know how to call him. But she's like, I want to just work a 9 to 5 for a little bit. And I was like, you want to work a 9 to 5? That's your goal, to work a 9 to 5? I'm also like, I cannot relate to you, bro. I'm sorry. You can't even like tell them that. Like, oh, you're working, you want to work in higher education? Oh, I'm so happy you got this internship. And I'm glad I got the internship too. But I'm not trying to work a 9 to 5 for any amount of time. So it makes me feel like, yeah, this money's
Well,
going
you're saying
directly
any
into my
significant amount of
account.
time?
Any
Is that what you're
significant, yeah. Because
Okay.
I'm planning on working in any job for at least a few years until any business I have can cover the cost of my expenses, basically. And then as soon as that happens, as soon as it covers the cost of my expenses and I have some money in reserves to protect me for a while, I'm going to leave my job, guaranteed. And I'm waiting for that day to happen.
Okay. I just felt like some people might be confused by that. Like, what is
Yeah,
he
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
We
yeah.
shouldn't have a job at all?
Yeah, no,
Like,
you should
ever
have a
in
job.
life?
You should have a job, yeah. Definitely should have a job.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
if I
no,
would say you should, but you can. It makes certain
Well,
things
you
easier
can.
until you're ready to transition out. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean that's really all I was saying there. Like I feel like there is like a lot of negativity, but I do feel like you need the negativity to create positivity in the future. And I feel like I'm not like I'm negative in some ways, like in the way that I feel like I should already have my business account set up. I should already have this stuff set up. But that like kind of makes me feel like, all right, well, let me get my stuff down and let me create a plan, a structure so I can work on my account when I can, and then just know that while I'm working this other job or these other two jobs that I'm making money that's going towards my goal anyways. You know, so I think there's positivity in it as well. Sometimes the positivity is not very easy to see because there's so much negativity around you and the way you view yourself is like so negative. But I feel like if you can like get past that, the positivity is like really there. It's awesome. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, cool. So I'm a wrap now.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So one of the books I wanted to bring up was called Man's Search for Meaning, by Viktor Frankl. So I guess depending on how you look at it, I feel like it's not even as simple as like it's either like a positive or a negative thing. But I'll just read the quote so y'all can understand what he's saying. But he, like in his book, he actually says, it is actually man's destiny to suffer. So he believes that we should all kind of like be suffering in a sense. But what he's saying is, even in that common destiny, every man suffers in his own unique way, and no one can relieve him of his suffering. His unique opportunity is in the way he bears his burden. So, and then the next quote is, let me see. A man who understands that he has a certain unique responsibility that only he can fulfill to another human being or to unfinished work will be unable to throw away his life because he knows his why and can bear it anyhow. So I guess that's more so like the positive aspect to it, because he's essentially saying like suffering is just a part of life. And like, I mean, he's saying man, but he's saying like human in a way. So like that's just a part of the journey. You know what I mean? Like we all have to go through it, but it's more so about like, what is your reason why behind the suffering? Like that's more so like your job to figure it out. Like, what am I doing this for? Because even when it just comes to like going towards like financial independence, like, bro, yeah, there's a lot of suffering along the way. Like you have to give up a lot of things at the beginning. And a lot of times it is more so like delayed gratification. Like I want to experience this at a higher level and potentially even like a higher quantity like later on, but I do have to suffer in the moment in order to get there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how else to elaborate on that, but
No,
I
that's,
mean,
that's
do you
pretty,
get what
that's
I'm
good.
saying though?
Yes, bro. In fact, I didn't even really think about it. I like those quotes, especially like the one where you said like it's how you, it's like how you're gonna suffer, I guess, or why you're suffering. And I like how he said it's like you're, if you know what your why is, the how is not really gonna be a problem. And I just think about like, I don't even myself kind of like say like, because people sometimes will say their whys every single morning or like every day just so they kind of get it engraved in their brain. And I feel like that's something I have to do more because it just helps you like know like this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm doing it every day.
And this is why
Just in your
the
head.
suffering is worth it.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for us, it really is so like you said, is so we can increase like the, well, for me is for so I can increase like the quantity of times I can do whatever I want. I can just say, all right, I don't want to. I can every day's a weekend day because I'm already positioning myself for that. So yeah, I agree with that heavily. Wait, and
But yeah.
that's. You said two books, or is that just two quotes from
That
the one
was
book?
no, that was one book. I have another one
Okay.
that I'm gonna talk about, but I was gonna say like, in regards to that book. So essentially, he's coming from the perspective of someone who survived the Holocaust. So obviously,
all
yeah,
right.
there was a lot of suffering in his
deep.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you read the book, he's actually like explaining how to like find how to find that sense of meaning for yourself to like to make the suffering worth it, because essentially like when he was going through that time period, like he had to figure that out for himself too, and some people couldn't. They couldn't, like they didn't know what their why was, so they didn't end up making it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess I'll read like one more quote from it. But he said, even if you feel as though you don't want anything more out of life and would prefer suicide, life still wants more out of you. And there may be people who want more life out of you, or more of your potential to be fulfilled. So it's just more so like I said, just thinking about like why is it worth it? And even if it's not worth it to you personally, like what if you had the opportunity to at least like inspire other people and change their lives. So maybe even if you can't find out like why it's worth it for you personally, like how could your life be meaningful for someone else? So it's
Yeah.
just like different ways to find that perspective of like why does this matter? Why is this struggle worth it?
And I want to get into the next kind of topic of our whys, but I want you to finish the other quote unless it relates to like the why.
The other book.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's called Embracing Your Inner Critic. So it's actually from the same authors from my favorite book of all time, actually, Embracing
Embracing
Ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah. So essentially that book, just really quick, it's kind of it's ourselves like as two words, because it's basically saying that everyone has like sub personalities, like different aspects of themselves, different aspects of their personality that all kind of like intermingle, and how to actually manage them. But one of those selves is specifically the inner critic. So this book is called Embracing Your Inner Critic.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple books about it, but
Oh,
this relates to the thing about how I was saying on the weekends I was thinking about myself a certain way, but I don't know. There's kind of a significant amount of quotes here. I don't know if I want to just say them and then you could edit them or whatever.
Just say.
But yeah.
I
All
probably
right,
won't
cool.
edit them. To be honest.
All right, so I'll just kind of read through them, but it says like the inner critic can never be pleased no matter how hard you try. Sorry, the inner critic can never be pleased no matter how hard you try. Its purpose is to spare us from shame and pain, similar to how your guardian or like your parent or whatever will look at your problems and try to fix you. It was saying in our early years we develop a subpersonality that criticizes us before anyone else can. And learn this from everyone who criticized you as a child. The inner critic really wants you to make it in the world, make enough money, be loved, successful, and have a family. It developed in order to protect your vulnerability by helping you to adapt to the world and meet its requirements. It wants you to make it wants to make you acceptable to others by correcting you before anyone else does. That's actually a big gem right there.
Yeah.
But it does admit that the inner critic often loses its original intent and doesn't know when to stop. So that's the thing. Like with all the subpersonalities, that's talked about in the book, but specifically the inner critic, as well. It's like its actual purpose, and when you're being like critical of yourself, it's like that exists for a reason. You shouldn't be like completely trying to ignore it. Although you shouldn't let any like certain like subpersonality control you and just completely dominate your life. Like you need to be in control of it, but you need to understand as well that it's like it can be helpful. Like the fact that it says the thing about like it wants to correct you before anyone else does. That's one of my biggest things, and that's why like I'm so hard on myself or whatever. And even those nights that I was talking about where it's like I'm going through it because I'm thinking about all the ways that like I could have been doing better or I should be doing better. I'm trying to like get ahead of the curve. Like before anyone else in the group like calls me out or whatever, like I'm already on it and I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna tell you I already know like these are the areas that I'm slacking in, and I'm attacking them full force because I'm gonna be better. Like I know I am. I'm gonna make sure that happens because I'm sick of my inner critic bringing it up to me all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like that can be taken very positively, although the process of it can be very painful. So that even goes back to the man's search for meaning thing. Like, yeah, in order for me to understand that I need to go farther, it's like I have to go through the suffering, but it's worth it because it is making me better at the end of the day, or at the end of the journey. Whatever.
I'm scared because I feel like I haven't gone through that type of suffering yet. I just need someone to come over and tell me that I'm trash, like for real. No, I'll never.
I feel like most people don't, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the reason that I typically get so far ahead, like relative to a lot of the people actually around me, is because I'm willing to do that. Because I'm always like, even though sometimes I do actually express like a certain level of cockiness and arrogance or whatever, it's like, I always know. I mean, I'm just always critical of myself. Like, I know, like, I'm not there yet. I know I haven't reached my potential yet. I know that there's more to do. And sometimes I look at it in a negative way, but I also know when to switch and look at it in, like, a positive way. And to just, like, be able to actually make the adjustments necessary. Like, I'm never just going to feel like, all right, guys, like, I'm at the top. I made it. Like, there's nothing else for me to work on. Like, no, bro. Like, this journey is actually never ending. Like, there's... I feel like it's just like part of the self-development process in general. Like you're never just done developing yourself. Never. Like this journey goes on for essentially like eternity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always ways to improve. Go ahead.
I'm thinking like you might not have to like necessarily like this is why I think financial freedom is good too, because once you get past the point where you have to work to survive and you can just survive and thrive kind of, then you can really think about like those aspects of your life even more. Like, all right, well, I don't have to work anymore. I kind of achieved that goal. What's like the next step? Like, what's the next thing I can learn about?
Yeah. Do you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes.
Yeah, like, so it's kind of like that. Foolish. We're gonna have to probably like link something in the description for that as well. So by the way, guys, all the stuff that we're referencing, we typically put it in the description if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, I'm writing them down right now too. Like the books
that we reference and all that. Word. But yeah, I had actually said this to my therapist, by the way, and it's funny because I said this to her a minute ago, but then I listened to a podcast that said the same thing recently, where they kind of like made an adjustment to the hierarchy of needs, like not Maslow himself, but like just us thinking about it people. Like these days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they're like, I feel like financial independence or financial freedom, like, is a main part of that pyramid. You know what I mean? Like, like it's really hard to get to like fully like the top of the pyramid is self actualization, and it's kind of asking yourself those deeper questions. But it's harder to get there when it's like you're stuck in that 9-to-5 grind and like working 40 hours a week and living paycheck to paycheck. Like, you know what I mean? When you have all those things kind of like chaining you down, I don't know, bro.
See, and this is exactly why I think that when you're having conversations with people, it's so hard to like relate to certain people, because the mindset of financial independence and like you're striving to get kind of like out of like the rat race is so significantly different from like the average person that it might as well be at the lower tier, like near like food, water, and shelter, because because
You're being so spicy about it, though.
Bro, because I'm saying, because like,
can you say
after,
respectfully,
like,
at least?
respectfully, like, this should be on the top of your mind, because after food, water, and shelter, bro, I'm trying to get food, water, and shelter forever, and then I can talk to you about anything else, because I know for a fact that your priorities are set straight, and that like you want to kind of focus on these like higher up things, so you can kind of get to that self-awareness that will bring you, I guess, more happiness in life. That's why I feel like I can't relate to the people around me, because that. But you're right. I think that is cool. I think it should be lower on the list, because it would make it easier to talk to people about this stuff, because they would understand. But
yeah. So to talk about like the hierarchy of needs and like the pyramid real quick, it's essentially saying that like you need to have certain like human needs met before you get to like the next part of the ladder on the pyramid. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you don't have like food and shelter, then you can't even focus on like whatever. Like I don't remember exactly what the list is, but you can't even focus on the next thing, because you're still stuck on this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to focus on fulfilling this before you even get to whatever. But like, and that's so real, because I feel like that's why like you're saying, like that's why it's so hard to connect with other people, because
bro,
what they spend their time focusing on, I'm like so far past that. I'm like, I don't even care. like that doesn't even matter to me, bro.
Bro, I feel that so much, bro. I feel that so much. I was like, I just don't care. I'm sorry. I cannot bring myself to care after doing all this stuff. It'd be actually like a disservice to myself if I cared about this and stopped caring about what I was doing.
Yeah, like what they prioritize, and it's like on a certain level, I kind of understand why they're prioritizing this, because they can't even see what's on the next level of the pyramid until they finish doing this. But I'm like, all right, bro, like, do you want me to help you? Like, can you hurry up and finish this so we can move on to the next one? But I don't know. It's like some people, I don't even know if they even want to like move up on that pyramid.
It's because you can survive on that other level, but you're not really taking life to its fullest. You're kind of just surviving. That's all it is. You're not really thriving. You're just surviving off that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, and taking your vacations like once a week during the year. I think that's the part that I hate the most about like traditional life. That like, oh yeah, you can take like a week off a year. Are you serious? A week off of my life? All right.
Yeah.
And the weekend.
And then it gets weird too, because when you start getting like other jobs and they're like giving you a little bit more, like at my job, I think it's like 3 weeks or something like that. But it's like, it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, they're giving me 3 weeks?
3
like,
weeks,
that's incredible.
I can take anywhere. Yeah.
Bro, it's my life. Like, what do you mean? The fact that you're giving me 3 weeks, and I'm so appreciative. But then again, there's also people listening that's like, yeah, I wish that my job was giving me 3 weeks. But I'm like, bro, I feel like I should be able to take like whatever time I need off.
I'll take like 6 months off, bro. I'll cash
it. Just because I can. You know what I mean?
That's what we're gonna get to. That's what I'm hoping to get to too.
Yeah.
Not even so I can travel, just so I can take it off. Like, I just don't want to have to work. But
yeah, I was trying to hope I didn't forget what I wanted to say.
Dang.
But basically, wait, you said what?
Did I make you forget? Nah, just say.
No, I think I'm good. Right. So,
dang.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was just emphasizing that. Oh no, I remember. Like, cause Jason's thing about so he can live his like depressive lifestyle.
Oh yep.
Like, I feel like when you don't take care of certain things along the journey, like getting to financial independence actually becomes a lot worse. And it's talked about in the book Work Optional. So basically in that book it says like you need to figure out like what do you want out of life, and basically figure out like on some man's search for meaning type stuff, like what is my life about beforehand, because if you just try to skip that and then just go like, and now you're officially financially independent, you quit your job, you don't have to work at all, and now you have all this time like just like to yourself, because a lot of times the majority of the people around you, it's like they're gonna be working too, so now you're just even more alone.
So now you're alone.
And more now you're alone. Now you're big isolated, bro.
Yeah.
But it's really just like, so what are you gonna do with your life now? And it was saying that dang, Grubhub is tripping right now. They're mad at me because I didn't sign in.
Yo, chill.
Just got a text.
We might be done though, like right now too.
Yeah, but they were saying that like a lot of people, whether they're retiring early or retiring at actual like the traditional age, they do get extremely depressed at that point in time because they're really just like, bro, my life has no purpose. Like, I was
Yeah.
used to like getting up and like at least doing something. Now I have like, now it's like I can do whatever I want to do, but I don't even know what I want to do. So that, to me, that's just another reason why it's like, it's not more so like a money makes you happy thing. It's like the money is literally, to me, like it's just a tool to like to get me like what I need and like in order to buy my freedom. But after like I have my freedom, it's like, all right, so what am I actually gonna do with my freedom? Like that's
Yeah.
a very important thing that you need to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that for real. And I always think to myself, like, I'm just like so excited for the day I can be financially free. And to be honest, I was like thinking, like, the first day I'm just gonna probably walk around and just do whatever, bro. Just walk around, just like I'm free. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you're already thinking about it. You're crying, bro. I
bro,
see
I'm
that
crying,
one
like,
tear, like,
so
oh boy,
emotional.
from Get Out, bro.
But I'm about to just like I'm about to go to a beach, just walk around, just chill, and be like, yeah, this is I can do anything. And but then yeah, right, yeah. After like the 30th day of doing that, I'll probably be like, all right, I gotta do something different. But
And
I know
this
what you
this
mean.
is actually a popular thing that's said amongst people that do the whole like retiring early thing. That they're like, anyone that can retire early never will retire early because think about like the amount of like dedication that she put into this, like the constant grind or whatever. Like once you get to that point to completely stop and just do nothing, it's
Doesn't
like,
make any sense.
yeah, it's just unrealistic.
Honestly,
You know
not
what I mean?
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're saying that like people think that you're just gonna be like chilling on a beach all day every day, but it's like the type of person that you had to even become to get to this point
Get that? Yeah.
will not
It's
allow
gonna
you
just
to
die.
be able to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's literally it
Because-
seems it's actually impossible. You're right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's not even about the money to me. Like it's a whole self development journey, bro. Like this isn't like just to be like a better person, like just overall. But in Man's Search for Meaning, it also says that like the meaning of life always changes. And to me, because I feel like people have a thing about like the meaning of life in general, like there's just kind of like one meaning. But in this book, it's about like everyone has their own like unique meaning of like their specific life. So the meaning of your life is always going to change as well. So that's what even makes it complicated for me to talk about my why, because I feel like there's just so many different answers, because it's like, all right, like my main like why for this is like I have the answer for that, but I'm like, yeah, but once I become financially independent, like the meaning of my life does kind of change a lot,
Yeah.
in my opinion, or
Yeah,
my
it
focus
does.
or whatever.
Your focus would definitely change. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, this is a great talk. But this is it. We reached an hour, so we have to cut it. Before we end, though, I wanted to say
Why
that,
is Joel always trying to kill it vibe, bro?
bro, I have to. I have to. Get
Every
you on
time
the
it's going
Grubhub.
good, he's like, all right, bro.
I gotta get you on Grubhub. That's my
No,
job.
that's real though. That's real.
But I was gonna say, like, this whole conversation that we kind of had, at least the second half, was more towards like the why and why you should have a why in your head. But we didn't really talk about that. But the question I have for you all listening to the podcast is, what is your why? If it's something that you haven't figured out yet, I would get on that, because it's gonna be kind of your main motivating factor. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Because if you don't have one, I guarantee you will stop doing what you're doing. Even I'm.
Yeah,
trying to
that's the
kinda really
thing. Like,
figure
can
it
we
out,
we
but-
need to emphasize that real quick too.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't even have a strong why, like you're not even gonna do it. Like that.
You're
That's
not
the
going
thing.
to. You're not going to.
Because it's
You're
not like the
absolutely not going
suffering
to.
that you have to go
Yeah.
through is not going to be worth it, bro. It's
Yeah.
not worth it at all. That's why it's so big to be like, this is exactly why I'm going to go through the suffering, and this
Yeah.
is why I feel like it's worth it.
And this is
and
like
it
for
has to
everything
be-
too.
Yeah, and it has to be, in my opinion, like, it has to kind of bring out some sort of emotion, or else it's not gonna be enough to drive you. And that's why I was saying, even in the first episode when I was talking about like a portion of like my why, but I was like people like to say it's just like, oh well, you know, I just want to retire early, or I just hate my job or whatever, and like typically it's like that's not gonna be a big enough driver for you. It might be enough to like get started, but in order to like completely push through, because this process can take like a significant amount of time sometimes, like it just has to be something deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it literally has to be something deeper, and it has to be something. I feel like, again, like you're saying every single day to yourself, like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. Because if you don't say it to yourself, I feel like either you're gonna forget, you're not gonna think about it. You might make decisions, kind of like, oh, I can get this today, but like, nah, don't get this. Like, let's say you wanted to just, I don't know, get some $300 item, and you're like, nah, because that takes you away from your why. You should kind of have it in your back of your head at all times. But yeah, emphasizing that's very.
Sorry. Like I want to end it, but it's just like I have something else to say too.
Say it.
But
say it.
Yeah, because it's like, dang, it's like slipping my mind as I'm thinking about it.
Nah,
but I feel like, oh no, did I really?
Nah, think, bro. Just think.
Okay.
I was saying that like it's important to know it, to say it every single day. You gotta like just have it in the back of your head.
I lost it, bro.
Dang.
I literally felt it like
That's
like
so
slowly
sad.
just leaving my mind, bro. I'll probably remember it by next time,
so
and I'll bring it
sad.
up like right at the beginning. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it was actually gonna be something really important. But whatever.
Really? And you just all right? That's sad. All right.
I don't have it, bro.
That is a question though I have for you all. What is your why? Let us know. If you don't want it, if it's too personal, don't let us know. If you haven't figured it out, let us know when you figure it out. But figure it out pretty soon.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments when I hear it, and then we'll catch you on next week's episode of the Walters Health Podcast.
All right, y'all.
All right. See you later.